We're starting lying on our back this morning. Carrie's back in class with us, so we're very excited about that. If you hear him moaning and groaning and swearing, you'll know that he's coming back alive in the nerve endings of his legs. So we're very excited about that. Let's bring our feet to standing. They don't have to be close to your behind. They can be walked away a little bit so they're kind of softly at an angle, and then drop the knees together. Bring your hands just to your lower belly so you can have a sense of the inhale and exhale. So lengthening through the crown, we're going to inhale to the lower belly and exhale all the way out. Again, inhale all the way in and exhale all the way out. One more time, inhaling all the way in, exhaling all the way out, and we're going to pause on the exhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale. Hold at the top for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale. All the way in, inhale it all the way in, and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. So you have the pattern here. Make your exhale for a count of 5, and the hold for a count of 5. And then the inhale for a count of 5. And hold for a count of 5. And exhale. Now bring it all the way out, all the air out. You can give a little more. Exhale it out and hold. And then begin the inhale. Inhale it. Feel those hands rise up on your belly. Bring your feet to standing slightly. Drop your knees together. There you go. And inhale. And hold. And exhale. We're going to do 3 more rounds on your own. So I'm going to go quiet. I'm still here. And we're inhaling. This is round 1. Round 3. Round 4. And round 5. Hold at the bottom. Hold that breath out. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it until you can't hold it anymore. And then inhale big. And return to normal breath. Sometimes this causes lightheadedness. What it does is that holding the breath on the inhale oxygenates the blood. Holding the breath on the exhale alkalines the blood. It gets the carbon monoxide to release into the blood so that when you take that nice deep inhale and then exhale, it moves all the waste And so that's why it gives you a really nice euphoric feeling. We're normal breathing now, just feeling ourselves against the mat, softening in. And now we're going to lengthen through the left leg, drawing that right knee in. We're going to exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. We're going to begin with opening the hips and the lower back with easy pose. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. We're going to do 3 more at your own pace. See if you can slow it down, drink it in, really embrace the opening through the hip, the opening through the low back, all the way out. And release that leg down. If you need to bring it to standing, slowly bring that left knee in. Bring it in as far as you can bring it. If you can't get it all the way in so that you can draw it in and release it out, just do the best that you can. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. Regardless of whether you're in resting pose or if you're actively working, make sure and still move the breath. The breath actually helps heal the body. It helps open the body. Three more at your own pace. Here we go. And release that left foot to standing, bringing the right foot up and over and crossing the knee. We're going to start right here in figure 4. Hands come to our hips. We're going to just gently begin to rock side to side, opening up that low back. So remember, I haven't even said it once today. Draw that belly button down to the floor. Lift it up to the heart. Slide that tailbone down. So you feel a flattening of the back against the floor. And this rocking is gentle and slow. I feel it all around my low back, all around my spine. On the inside of my pelvic bowl, I feel it. Nicely done. And now we're going to come to stillness. We're going to reach our hands between the legs and draw that knee in. Now this is the first kind of deep opening in the hip here. So no forcing, allow the body, we're still pretty early in warming the body, allow the body to sink into this experience. For some of you, crossing your leg, your ankle over your knee is all it's going to be for you today. And let it be about opening that hip, slowly opening it. Nicely done. Doing good. Take a hold of your knee and press it away from your shoulder. The knee naturally wants to come in, drop in. That's the tightness in the hips. If you're ready for the next level, straighten that leg. Bring it out. Point the toe, flex the toe. Point the toe, flex the toe. You're going to begin to feel this opening in the back of your leg, warming up this lower body. We're going to do some balance today, finding out how do we distribute our weight in our feet. So right now the question is, how do we distribute our weight lying on our back? Are you rolling all over the place? Bring that belly button down. Slide that tailbone underneath you. Begin to circle that ankle around. Circle it around. By circling the ankle and pointing and flexing the toe, we are strengthening and opening all the ligaments in the ankle, circling it around the other way. Still breathing, still opening that knee, letting this be a function of strengthening the core while opening the hips. Breathing into it. Now point the toe and release it down. Nicely done. Draw that knee in just a little bit closer to the body. Find your edge. Let's have 5 breaths. And on each exhale, let that knee come just a little bit closer into your chest. And that elbow, open the right knee a little bit wider. 3 more breaths. Nice deep inhale. Feel that edge. Exhale and challenge it. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more gentle challenge. This might be your challenge, is just this last breath, and that's okay. Slowly set that leg down. Set it down all the way in. Bring that knee back to center, and then exhale, draw it in once, and then set it down on the floor and standing, crossing the left leg over it. So level 1 is right here, taking your left hand, putting it on your left knee, and just opening it up. Belly button to the floor, lifting it up to your heart, sliding that tailbone under, and then gently rocking side to side. I am perfectly happy with you staying right here. This might be all you can do. You may not even be able to move with it. If you can cross your leg and open your knee, that releases all of the groin muscles. It opens the femoral tendon. It gives the inguinal ligaments some space. And you have no idea what all those terms mean, but they're all the powerful holding support of your pelvis, of your hips. This is what we want to open in order to be able to continue to be mobile. All right, as you're ready, if you have the space, engage that belly button to the floor, lift that knee up, scoop the hands behind the thigh, open up that knee with the elbow, and drop out of that leg. This is level 2 right here. Level 2 is allowing me to break a sweat today. Who knew? Begin to rock side to side, giving yourself a little bit of space. So I'm not walking side to side very well because I'm nice and flat against the floor. So that's good. I'm going to just drop into that flatness. Feel that tailbone slide underneath me. Feel that belly button come down to the floor, lift up to my heart, and then lengthen through that right leg. Point the toe and flex it. Here we go. Point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. Again. Nicely done. This time point your toes, circle it around. Draw a big circle with that toe. There you go. Good job. Reverse it. Circle it around. Find your breath. Still breathing. And point that toe. Draw it in a little bit farther. Exhale it in. Open that knee. Remember, whatever stage you're in, work from that point. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to do it. If it's too much today, it changes every day for me. Some days I can do this, some days I cannot. Release that knee down. Exhale, draw it in a little bit further. Find your edge. Inhale into it. Exhale, challenge it. Inhale into it. Exhale, challenge it. Inhale into it. Exhale, challenge. Feel the energy building. Feel it building. Sometimes the challenge is simply holding, not going any deeper. Last one, inhale it. Exhale it, release it down. Right leg comes to standing, left knee comes in. I'm gonna straighten mine out, that's what the body's calling for. Exhale, draw it in. And then release it up. Bring that foot to standing. Allow yourself to roll to one side or the other, doesn't matter which one. We're just gonna change positions. Press yourself up, all the way up, coming all the way to seated, coming into cobbler's pose. Now, so there's different ways to do cobbler's pose, or also known as butterfly. If you can't roll your knees open, start with your feet out in front of you, and then just, it might be a little bit, just like this. And then draw the feet into whatever level you can. So today, I'm about 1.5 feet away from my crotch, and so with my heels, and the goal here is to pull those heels in towards the apex of the legs, dropping those knees open while still growing tall, dropping down into shoulders. Now, I've got an anterior tilt going on today. I shoveled some snow last week, and my back kind of didn't like it. So I'm still working with that. So drawing that belly button back, lifting up. And the tailbone is at the bottom of the sacrum. The sacrum is a big triangle bone, and it's a little bone at the bottom of that sacrum. And you're gonna feel it scoop underneath. So it's almost like you're gonna point your bottom down. So notice how I'm not losing it this way, but creating a nice, strong middle here, breathing into it. So now that we've got the core engaged, draw those heels in a little bit closer to the apex of the legs, lengthen through the crown, drop out of the shoulders, breathing, breathing. Do your best to get up on your sit bones. Grow long in your crown. 2 more breaths. Excellent. Now taking a hold of your feet without, just let their hands rest on top of your feet. So this is not about pulling yourself forward. Begin to hinge at the hips, sinking forward. Growing long in the crown, challenging. Where is your edge? Breathe into it. Exhale. Breathe into it. Exhale. Breathe into it. Exhale. One more time, breathe into it. And let it all the way out. Nicely done. Coming up, bringing those feet to standing. Open those feet wide. You can lean back on your hands, and we're going to gently rock side to side. Do it gently. Let those hips open. And if you want to deepen this twist, you can look the opposite way of where your knees are going. It feels funny, but it also works the brain. Gets that left brain, right brain going. Breathing into it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. The head for me always wants to go the same way as the knees. So I have to really think about it. Coming to center, coming all the way up, spinning around, coming to tabletop. So coming onto your hands and knees, continuing up the body with finding the flexibility in the spine. So knees come underneath those hip points, hands come underneath the shoulders, spin the eyes of the elbows towards each other, and drop down into cow. Inhale, exhale, up into cat. Inhale, down into cow. Exhale, up into cat. Inhale, down. And exhale up. Last one, all the way through. Inhale down. Exhaling all the way up. Coming into full tabletop. Let's work with this here. Shoulders are back, lengthening out of the crown. So feel that belly button come up to your spine. And so when I talk about the tailbone sliding down your back, the tailbone's like right about, I'm going to turn around so you can see this, is right about here on the bottom. Okay, it's really far down. It's the very tail end of the spine. So as you slide that down, as you lift up through your belly button, it's not a big movement. You see, it's only about anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch. But it flattens out the back, giving this nice stable surface here. So we're breathing and we're holding this. So right here from nice, strong, stable core, lengthening through the crown, shoulders are back. We're going to curl our toes under, take a nice deep breath in, and exhale halfway back into downward facing dog, just halfway back. So halfway back is a half dog. And knees are bent. You're just allowing your body to get used to the idea that we're going to lift all the way into dog. Now remember, dog may not be with you today, so you might actually have to do tabletop. So as you're ready, come up onto your toes and soften into that right heel only. Only one leg at a time. Work at your level. If you're in tabletop, you can do the same movement. It just looks like this. Straight back. Okay? And soften that right knee and lengthen through the left heel. Straight back. And soften that knee and lengthen through the right heel. Okay? So now if you're up in dog, this is called walking your dog. If you're in tabletop, you're just lengthening through the legs. 2 more each side. And last one. Inhale, exhale, all the way back into the heels the best you can into downward facing dog. We're going to walk our hands back. Walk our hands back, coming into standing forward fold. Here we are, we're up on our feet. So take a minute as you're in forward fold to look at those feet and see if they're underneath your hip points or are they too far apart. Now, my hips are way wider than my hip points. So 2 different things here. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to show you in just a second. Take 2 more breaths here. Let yourself soften all the way down into forward fold. Lean back into your heels just a little bit, opening that low back. And then begin to walk yourself up. Help yourself up today. All the way up. Here we are in standing. So hip points are these bony points in the front part of your hips. So if you put your hands on the edges of your hips and follow them all the way around until you feel these pointy parts of your hips right here. This goes all the way down. Let the energy move. Let it come out. Okay, breathing into it. Sometimes with work, we'll have emotional releases, and that's fine. Allow it to happen. So here we are. Feet are hip distance apart. Points, second toe underneath the hip points of the hips. So you can see my hips are over here. What we call our hips are here. Hip points are here, okay? So standing in mountain pose, we're going to engage that belly button, lift up, slide that tailbone down, breathe into it, and find where you are in mountain. Find your breath. Keep the energy moving. Allow it to come. So on the next inhale, we're going to inhale our hands up overhead with our knees spinning out to our little toe. We're going to sit straight back into Uttanasana. Straight back. There it is. Sit down into it And then see if you can bring your upper body up a little bit. So you're not sitting straight up, you're forward a little bit, but you're not bent over. My mat loves to walk. So I'm gonna just take a look at everybody. All right, so as if I was coming around and putting my hand right here on your chest and one right here on your bottom and sinking you down just a little down. Very good, little lower. Very nicely done. Breathing into it. Allowing this to be a heat builder. This is a great place to practice with that tailbone sliding down to the floor. 2 more breaths. Nicely done. We're going to inhale. We're going to fly up. And we're going to fly forward all the way into forward fold. So feel those heels. Feel the weight come back in your heels. All right? My words are eluding me today. Allow it to be what it is in your body. Nothing more. So we're going to just bring the floor up for you. Okay, this is your floor, so you can put your hand, step forward a little bit towards it. There you go. Breathing into it. So if blocks are not high enough for you, you can use a chair so that you can bring the floor up to you, so that if you are not reaching the floor because of whatever reason, your hamstrings are tight, the floor is too far away, whatever the case may be, you know, support yourself, support your experience. Let go of your head, shake it no. Shake it yes. Build yourself up again. Walk those hands up, coming up into mountain, tall mountain. Drop out of your shoulders. Feel that tailbone slide down. Spin those knees open. Okay, so when I'm talking about spinning the knees open, this is an energetic move. It brings the knees around. As we engage the core, it opens the femurs so that we're not knocking our knees together, and sit back into Uttanasana. There it is, right there. Breathe into it. Find your breath. Again, hand on the back, hand on the front. Imagine that my hands are there, and sink down just a little bit lower. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Breathing into it. That's a great Uttanasana. Drop out of your shoulders. Draw that belly button back. Lift up. Slide that tailbone down. Good job. Find your breath. Count them out if you need to. Count the inhales. Count the exhales. Sink a little bit lower. Feel the body tremble. That's okay. This is where the work is. This is where the metabolism work is. When our body begins to sweat and heat and tremble and, you know, push your limits. If you need to come out of it, you can. Sink a little bit lower. Sit back in it. Two more breaths. And then rise up on the last one. Exhale. Coming into tall mountain. Dropping those hands down to Tadasana. Mountain pose. Breathing into it. Nowhere to go. I'm recognizing that I'm yelling at everybody. So there you go. Thanks for arriving today. Glad you all can hear me. Breathing into it. So we're preparing for mountain pose. So we're going to build just a little bit of movement here between forward fold, Uttanasana, and mountain. And we're going to build a little flow. So we're going to begin in the right leg. Find a dristi, find a point to look at that's not moving. Pour into that right leg. Soften out of the left leg. And then begin to open that up. And it doesn't matter whether it's your heel is up in the groin or if it's below the knee, wherever works for you. The important part is that you are allowing the heel of your foot to rest against muscle tissue, not bone. So you don't want it against the knee. Okay, no hooking It's an easy place to hook the heel on the knee. However, it compromises that joint, too much pressure. Breathe into it, find your breath. I'm gonna grow quiet. Nicely done, 2 more breaths. And then step out of your tree, or in my case, I'm falling out of it. Release that leg, give it a little bit of motion, then come back to mountain, inhaling those hands up, exhaling, sitting back into Uttasana. Feel the difference of right side to left side. So this is a really telltale sign of Kripalu Yoga, is noticing the body, coming within, finding the connection of body-mind. What's happening in the left side versus the right side. Finding all those little micro movements, sliding the tailbone down, lengthening through the crown, sinking a little bit lower, breathing into it. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Inhaling, rising up, swan dive forward into forward fold. Feel the difference, right side to left side. We've only balanced on one side. So in my body, I'm feeling this really interesting difference from the left side to the right side. Sink forward in the feet, sink backwards in the feet. Balance out the weight. Drop it out of the head. Shake no. Shake yes. Deep breath, inhale, exhale. On the next inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. If you have to help yourself, do it. Chin is last, coming up all the way, tall mountain. Big circle with those arms. And then exhaling, lowering them down. Coming into Tadasana, pouring into the left foot. Preparing for mountain pose on the left side. Sinking into that left foot, opening that right knee, finding your drishti, looking at it, lock in on it. Now I'm choosing to do mountain with my hands down. Some of you might choose to take your hands up over your head, and that's okay. You can do that. Finding balance in the body. Finding balance in the breath. Finding balance in the mind. What's happening in that center of the body? Is the belly button back to the spine, lifting up, tailbone sliding down. Nicely done. Releasing out of that right leg. Release that left leg. Give it some movement. Give it some circles, whatever you need. Coming back to mountain pose. Inhaling those hands right up overhead and sinking back into Uttasana. Very little break here. Working the muscles in different ways. Strengthening and lengthening, both. It's in the strengthening that we find the flexibility. So if you only strengthen your muscles, they become very short. But if you lengthen them also, they become very strong. Different. Same, but different. Find your breath. Sink a little lower. Sit back into that chair. Sit back. Nicely done. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, swan dive forward. All the way forward. All the way down. This is the lengthening part. I always rise up on my balls of the feet, sink back into the heels of the feet, and then balance in the middle. Spinning those knees open, checking in with that core center of the body. Lengthening through the crown, letting it drop. Shaking the head to make sure it's not holding on. There it is. Where does the release happen? Where does the letting go really, really allow itself to show up? Again, rising up, you can roll up, you can walk yourself up. It's okay to help yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of strength in helping the self. Hands up, exhaling them down, pouring into the right foot, finding that dristi, finding tree. We're gonna have 5 breaths here. You can add your arms if you like. You can keep them down if you like. 3 more breaths. 2 more. Last one, stepping out of tree, swan dive forward, forward fold. We're just gonna touch the floor, roll back up, nice and tall. Exhaling, sitting back into chair. Find your chair, check in with that center body, check in with that tailbone. Is it sliding down your back? Inhale up, exhale, swan dive forward. Sweep the floor. Inhale, roll up, walk yourself up if you have to. Hands come to your side, pour into that left foot. Soften that knee. Release that right foot, come into tree, 5 breaths. Oh, hello. The wind blew me over. 3 more breaths. 2 more. And last one, stepping out of tree, inhaling those hands up, exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling, rolling yourself up. Hands all the way up overhead, exhaling, sitting back into chair. We're gonna go through this one more time. Inhaling up, exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling, rolling up, pouring into the right foot. You're gonna find a little bit of a flow coming into it. 5 breaths. Nicely done, stepping out, exhaling right into forward fold. Inhaling, rolling up. Hands up, sitting back into chair. All the way back. Sink all the way back, keep breathing. Inhaling up, exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling, rolling up. Pouring into that left foot. Finding that dristi, 5 breaths. Nicely done. Stepping out of it. Swan dive forward. Nicely done. Inhaling, rolling up. Exhaling, sitting back into chair. This is the last chair. Sit back a little lower, hold it, breathe it. Check in with the core, check in with your center, check in, lengthening through the crown, breathe into, sink a little lower. And then inhaling up, hands stay up. Exhale through the right hip, right into half moon. Ardha Chandrasana, there it is. Open that side body. Find your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling other way, other side. Spin that heart open, spin that shoulder back, spin that left shoulder back. Nicely done. Inhaling up, exhaling, only the arms down, coming into Mountain Tadasana. Feel those shoulders come all the way down. Feel that head come up off the shoulders, lengthening through the crown, spinning the knees open. Breathing into it. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do, resting in mountain. On the next inhale, inhaling the hands up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. All right, hands connect to the earth, walk them forward, back into downward facing dog. So we're just coming back into downward facing dog the way we came out of it. Sinking back, 2 more breaths. Lowering the knees down, coming into tabletop, finding your full expression of tabletop. So remember, how did we draw that belly button up? Slide that tailbone down. Nice, strong lengthening in the crown. On the next inhale, drop down, look up. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Cat and cow, back to cat and cow. Notice how much more pliable that spine is. How much more space there is. I've had an interesting experience in the last week of really becoming acutely aware of how when you lose the flexibility of this forward-backward motion, of keeping the spine supple, how it really stops movement everywhere in the entire body. The spine really is the key to our flexibility. 2 more. So even though cat-cow seems like, to me, a very simple movement, it's a powerful movement. It opens the spine. 1 more all the way through. And all the way out. Returning to our tabletop, our powerful tabletop. Lengthening out of the crown, lengthening out of the tail. And now we're going to C-spine it. We're going to look over our right shoulder, and we're going to see if we can see our hip. So hinge that hip. And then we're going to inhale, center, and exhale, look over the other side. And inhale, center, and exhale, look over the other side. And inhale, center, and exhale, look over the other side. And inhale, center, and we're going to do 1 more each side. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Look for that hip. Can you see it? Can you hinge it? And then inhale, center, and exhale, look over that left shoulder. Look for that hip. Lean into it. Look over that shoulder. And come back to center. Find your table. Slide down through that tailbone. It's interesting how you can lose it right here. Let that core go on vacation. Bring that belly button up. Slide that tailbone down. Slight lift in the pelvic floor. Release the hips. Release the glute muscles. Can you do that? Maybe. 2 more breaths. And then find your way to lying on your back, all the way around down to your back, feet and standing. What does that look like? Some of you might want a little more vigorous movement and want to go through a vinyasa. You can do that. I see that Carrie is going to do that. Doing a great job. This is a great series to do if you need to step back into the arena of doing yoga. So here we are, we're on our mat. We're going to prepare for a bridge, so walk those feet in close. If you have a block, place it between your knees and hang on to it. If you don't have a block, place your imaginary block between your knees and hang on to it. Take a nice deep inhale in, feel that back flatten as you exhale and roll into it and inhale, roll out of it and exhale, roll into it. So just pelvic tilts at this point. This is the time to look at the screen because once you lift up into bridge, I want you only looking at the ceiling. Protect that neck. Our neck is a really, really important part of our spinal column. So you always want to protect it. So right now we're just following the breath, exhaling, drawing in, inhaling, drawing out. This might be all you do today. There may not be no lifting into bridge. You might just be working with the core, working with the pelvic tilt. So we'll have 3 more of these. And 2 more. And last one. And as we exhale on this one, we're going to hold the posture and keep breathing. So we're holding the posture in. We're going to engage the weight into our feet and begin to lift up off the floor on the exhale. Coming up into bridge, squeezing your glutes if you want. Keep breathing. Find where this posture holds you. If you want to place your hands on the lower part of your back and lift yourself up, you can. Breathe into it. I'm going to move. You guys keep going. I'm going to just check on my in-room people. Keep breathing. Find that bridge. Drink it in. Show me a bridge. Show me your pelvic tilt. Keep breathing. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Doing great. Nice deep inhale in. And then lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Very good work. You know, this is really challenging for some. And bridge is a heart opener. So a lot of times what will happen is there will be an emotional release afterwards. Release those knees to your chest. Gently begin to rock side to side. Counterposing. Allowing it to be what it is in your body. So keeping that right knee in and lengthening through the left knee. We're going to draw that knee in. We're going to engage our pelvic floor. Engage that belly button down to the floor, slide that tailbone out, and then begin to cross that knee over the body. Coming into a deep twist, opening that right arm. So your knee may or may not connect with the floor. It doesn't matter whether it does or not. What matters in this twist is that your core is engaged. So that belly button draws back, tailbone slides down. Slight lift in the pelvic bowl, in this pelvic floor. And then if you want to deepen this, look towards that right hand. Really take a look and wring out that spinal column, wring it out. I'm still here. Keep breathing. We've got 3 more to go. And engage that core. Draw that knee back slowly. If that belly button has released from the spine and you've let go of that, strengthen the center. It sometimes can be quite uncomfortable in the low back. It's that core strength that protects us. Open that knee wide and then release it down. I always have to take a minute and wiggle flat on the floor because twisting always, I walk all over the place. Draw that left knee in. Take a hold of it with the right hand. Open the left arm to a T. Engage all those important center muscles and draw that knee across the body. What's one layer that you no longer need to hang on to? Breathe into it. This can be as deep or as soft as you want it to be. It's your call. Breathe into it. Check in with that belly button to the spine, tailbone sliding down. The key to this, strengthening the center, is that tailbone shifting down. And so at first it's kind of hard to have that sensation connecting with the mind. But once you have it, you'll know where it is. Breathe into it. Here we go. 5 more. I'm going to grow quiet. Last breath. You can do it. Come on. You can do it. And then double check your strength in the middle. Unwind yourself from that twist. Open that knee wide. Open it wide. Nicely done. Bring those feet together. Flatten out on the floor. Lengthen through both feet. Hands up overhead. Take a nice long stretch. Point the toes, point the fingers. Sometimes this alone is a stretch that can be so releasing. Lengthen through the right foot, lengthen through the left foot. Feel the motion in the pelvis. It's tiny but powerful. Deep breath in, deep breath in, deep breath in. Let it out with a big sigh. Ask yourself, oh great wise self, do I need another Utkatasana, another chair? Or no, I need a blanket to cover up with. Find yourself coming into Shavasana. Unless you need something else that maybe I didn't cover today, honor that in your body. Honor the fact that the body has a wisdom that the mind simply has no possession of. The connection of spirit to body, when the thinking mind gets out of the way, is powerful. As you allow those feet to fall open and the core to soften, or for some of you, you'll need your feet in standing with your knees dropping together. Either way is fine. If you're not comfortable lying flat on your back, honor that. But the trick here is to let go of any holding that might be supporting you and trust that Mother Earth is here to hold you. Soften all the way down, all the way down. Let your breath grow shallow. Let your mind slip away, not here, not there. What do you feel? It is easy to be the outsider, knowing what someone else needs, or so we think. Thinking being the telltale sign. When we think, ego steps in. When we feel, spirit guides. Feelings only belong to the owner. We are responsible for how we feel. At the same time, we only know our own feelings. So the question is, what do you feel? What do you feel? What do you feel? And gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And as you're ready, press back up to seated. Bring your hands to your heart. We'll end with one Om today. So nice deep breath in, exhale. Nice deep breath into Om. Namaste. Thank you for being here.